Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Trinisphere. I, Adam the Johnny, am going to go over 10 key cards to your Kadena deck. Kadena, Slinking Sorcerer, is 1, a black, a green, and a blue for a 3/3 legendary creature Naga Wizard that says the first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. Whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So we are looking to exploit all of these, being able to play free morph creatures and playing as many face down creatures as possible. So let's look at 10 key cards in getting Kadena there. Number 10. First up, we have Vesuvian Shapeshifter, 3 blue for a 0/0 creature shapeshifter that says as Vesuvian Shapeshifter enters the battlefield or is turned face up, you may choose another creature on the battlefield. If you do, until Vesuvian Shapeshifter is turned face down, it becomes a copy of that creature and gains at the beginning of your upkeep. You may turn this creature face down. Morph for 1 and a blue. This is a good utility card in general in Kadena. You're going to like having this, and it's going to be even more key with our number 9 card. Number 9. Next up is Brine Elemental. It morphs for 7, and when it's turned face up, each opponent skips his or her untap step. If you deploy this at the right time, and you happen to have Vesuvian Shapeshifter out, you can continuously flip copies of Brine Elemental over and over and over again, so that they never untap again. This is a key combo in this deck if you want to go that route. It's also a 5/4 on top of that, so very solid card. Number 8. Next up is a little on the boring side, but we do have Den Protector, which is a green and 1 for a 2/1, but you can cast it for 3 and megamorph it. It has a little bit of evasion, but more importantly, when it's turned face up, return target card from graveyard to your hand. So with Kadena, this is going to draw you a card on the way down, and when you flip it over, it's going to Eternal Witness and be a 3/2. So this is a very solid card and a definite add into your Kadena deck. Number 7. Next up, we have Primordial Mist. For 5 mana, at the beginning of your end step, you may manifest the top card of your library. Exile a face-down permanent you control. You may play that card this turn, so you'll be able to cast and or play a land if it is already manifested. But these manifest cards do get played face down, so you are going to get triggers off of Kadena. So basically, at the end of every turn, you are going to draw a card and get a 2/2 body. Pretty solid. Number 6. Next up is Secret Plans. Secret Plans gives all your face down creatures +0/+1, and whenever you turn one face up, you draw a card. Adding to the overall card advantage that you're getting in this deck, you definitely want this in there. So you draw a card when you play the cards, and you draw a card when you turn them face up. Number 5. Ixidor, Reality Sculptor. For 5 mana, you're getting a 3/4 that gives all your face-down creatures +1/+1, and you can subvert any costs that you have for morph by paying 2 and a blue and turning a face-down creature face up, so it just unmorphs it for you. Very good value in this deck, and you want this for any of your big cards that you have that you only paid 3 or 0 with Kadena, so that you can get everything out there and crunch face with big boys. Number 4. Next up, we have Ghastly Conscription. For 7 mana, you're going to exile all the creature cards from target player's library face down, shuffle the pile, then manifest those cards. So they are going to enter the battlefield as you manifest them, each one of them drawing you a card with Kadena. So this is a big tide turn in a game. You could potentially get upwards of 7 to 10 creatures that are all 2/2s, as well as potentially draw that many cards with Kadena out. So very, very good, and also stops some of those pesky recursion decks. Number 3. Whisperwood Elemental, a 5 mana 4/4. At the beginning of your end step, manifest the top card of your library. Again, this is going to draw you a card at the end of every single turn, and then you can sacrifice Whisperwood Elemental, and until end of turn, face up non-token creatures you control. Gain when this creature dies, manifest the top card of your library. So if somebody does try to board wipe or kill some of your creatures or some number of your creatures, you can sacrifice Whisperwood Elemental and manifest some some number of cards, at least replacing the things that would die. If Kadena happens to be alive and still stay out through that, then you get to draw cards for each of those as well. Number 2. Our penultimate card in this deck is going to be a feta Runecaster for 4 mana, a 2/3 that whenever a creature is turned face up, you may draw a card. So again, with Kadena, you're drawing a card when you cast them, then when you turn them face up, you get to draw another card. Really solid creature to have in here. Number 1. And our number 1 card, mostly for lulz, but also for sheer power, is Willbender. The answer to the question of every what is that when somebody plays a morph is it's Willbender. Willbender allows you to change the target of a single spell or ability, and so anytime somebody is targeting you with something lethal or targeting your creature, you can change that and target one of theirs or target something else or target another player and put them in a bad position instead. Willbender is a premier card to have in your morph deck. Make sure that you include it. Honorable mentions. And here is a bonus card outside of our top 10 that you can add if your wallet is getting a little too heavy and you need to unload lots of your money. You can always put in an Illusionary Mask. Illusionary Mask is going to allow you to play any creature card for any amount or type of mana that you want face down. With Kadena, this means that you will be able to literally play any creature that you get into your hand face down for 0, draw a card off of that, and continue to do that until you have exhausted all creatures in your hand. They will be 2/2s while they are out. So this can be very powerful with Kadena. This is on the reserve list, so this is a very expensive card, but it is a really interesting card to have in here. All right, well, that's going to be it for this little analysis of Kadena. Please make sure that you share, like, subscribe, and put in the comments below what cards you think are required and needed. Some of your top 10 cards that you would put in Kadena in building it.